Welcome to the board meeting. As usual, point out, please turn off your cell phones or put them on vibrate. And the emergency exits are behind you, and next to you, over here, here. Don't use the one that say do not exit unless you're being chased by a bear or quick in there. Okay, well, thank you. All right, I'm going to go the meeting to order and get quorum.
Okay, Ed.
Here.
Alan Gilbert.
Here.
Susan.
Here.
John Sussman. April Firth.
Here.
Steve Mounts.
Here.
And Alan Kane is out of town.
All right, Susan.
I, Susan Spellman, move to waive the reading and approve as distributed the Thursday, March 27, 2025 board meeting minutes. Second.
As is everyone in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Ed, Alan, board minutes approval?
Yes.
Any opposed?
Okay, I have the usual opening marks on a number of different items. Go down the list. ADT, which is our alarm company, everybody has to register with Palm Beach Sheriff's Department annually. It's a $25 fee. If the office has forms, or you can log online, go online and do it. If you don't pay the fee and your alarm goes off, they don't come. Okay, so it's important that you renew that every year. A few other things that sort of have to do, unfortunately, out here, we have the nice vases and things like outside social hall. People have been throwing candy wrappers in the vases and things like that. I don't think you would do that in your house. So if we get our maintenance people to report it again, we'll check the cameras. So please don't do that. Did you get it? All right.
No, we found cafes. We're really fine.
Yeah, it's like a bank robber writing its note on the back of its like. Okay. That's one thing. Our procedure. If you have a project that's been approved and you complete the project, if you don't follow up with it, you won't get your refund. So you have to submit to the office, and that way you will get the refund for anything done. Put money up. It's collateral for damage. Right. Quarterly payments, HOA payments, everyone has to make. You have to either mail them or set up an auto pay with your bank. You can't bring the check to the window. The HOA does not accept checks. They don't deposit them forward. That yourself. Another issue goes back to the last meeting. Some people have little pails for their doggy waste that they put out by curb. They're not do that. It's in our rules and regulations. Not allowed to do that. So double bag it and put it in your regular trash. Now, if you do have one of these little containers and it can be up against your house and hidden behind a bush, that's okay, but it can't be out on the street. Let's see, gym etiquette. I don't know, an email went out, I believe it was yesterday, about gym etiquette. So everybody should read that. That's how to take care of the equipment, clean the equipment after you're done. So, the next person using it doesn't have any problems. Safety and security, big issue. People are running stop signs like crazy, just like they are out in the street. I almost had someone hit me this morning. Unfortunately, I was going the other way and couldn't turn around and trying to get a plate. Someone else, I believe, said that they were almost hit today. Also, bicycles are not stopping stop signs, and they have to follow the same rules. Take 2 seconds, stop, put your feet down, and stop. If you can't do that, maybe you're riding a bike. It's not a big deal to stop your pedaling for 2 seconds. You're also, there's a way to signal on bicycles if you're going to make a turn. Let's see, other things. Cars, like I said, are not stopping. But another thing with automobiles, everyone has to register cars. because you get a new car or new plates. People have been lately been getting new plates. Just got over for both of our cars about 2 months ago. You get a new car and or new plates, you have to register with the folks. So we know who's coming through the gate, whose transponder goes with which car. It could be for your, what is your car stolen? Might help us, might help it get found, okay? One other thing too, and this is another behavioral thing. There's been a number of incidents in the cafe. One of them was today. I saw one a couple of weeks ago where there were some residents, not all, fortunately a very small number, are really very, very disrespectful to the staff in the cafe. And, you shouldn't do that. You should treat them the same way you would want someone to be treated. Don't yell at them, don't scream at them because your order was wrong or it was late. Just talk to them like a normal human, please. And I think that's pretty much all the notes we have. Okay, so what's next? Financial review.
Assets, we have operating cash at $529,109. Our restricted funds are $282,245. For ARC projects, our reserve funds total $3,471,689. Accounts receivable for $377,156. That's an unusually high number. Almost $205,000 in assessments, for the special assessments for the roof project that have not been paid yet. They're available, payable quarterly. That one's not due next year, so it's not a problem. Our other current assets are $257,154. Utility deposits are $320,322. Total assets $4,953,976. Our liabilities, expenses, prepaid studies, and security deposits, etc., are $1,002,181. Our reserves in the uninsured loss reserve, we had $1,151,026. Payment reserve has $508,090. Deferred maintenance reserve is $1,307,246. Total reserves are $3,046,762. We have shareholders' equity of $480,106. Total liabilities of $4,903,966. There are currently 11 homes for sale. So far this year, there have been 14 sales approved and 1 rental contract approved. 8 sales, 5 homes are scheduled to close mid-June. Capital contributions this year to date, $4,603. That's the money that we receive if somebody moves it in the community as a new house. Last year at this time, it was $11,250. So the exactly double the contribution has made a significant difference. We have 2 homes that have been put for collection with the attorney, and 1 is being prepared to be sent to the attorney in the next few days. A little update on the roof project. So far, the roof, we still have a few little things, okay, but the project has come in $1,018,400. $7.98. And of that amount, almost $18,000 was surety bond purchased to cover any problems that might come up with the contract. So the project is right around essentially.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, we'll do committee reports. Alan's not here for the emergency response, fitness, or security. So, all right, well, yeah, you have a couple on security. Oh, yes.
Still a lot of my.
Sorry.
There will be a new stop sign installed at the Hagen Ranch gate, inbound lane intersections. Now be three stop signs. People go through. People started observing as the security committee. They were out 2.5 hours and last Thursday on at Longmont Point. They were 12 people that did not stop at the Castle Gate and Longmont, Mark 10 and Longmont, or Deer Park and Longmont. 6 of the 12, the plates are not registered. So that pertains to registration of vehicles. A security committee meeting was discussed. So many unregistered vehicles. The committee is talking about re-registering every vehicle in the community. What that means is people that don't bother when they vehicle when they get a new license plate, everybody's going to pay for that. So everybody will have to re-register their vehicle. Same time we do that, we're probably going to issue stickers put on the car so they can be identified as belonging in the community. At the end of that process, 2 or 3 days, it takes some time to do that, but every vehicle will be registered, re-registered. At the end of that process, the transponders on all vehicles that have not completed the registration process will be turned off, and you will not have access into the community except through the guest. So that's a problem. The other problem the security committee discussed was the situation with dog owners not kicking after their dogs when they do their business. It's become a problem. As Alan said last time, all the dogs tested to get their DNA, tested, and when the DNA would be fine.
Okay. Yeah,
There again, it's everybody.
It's Alan.
Price for a few people that are in the.
All right, thanks, Steve. And I think Alan has something about the fitness committee, so.
Yeah. Among other things, the fitness committee has been discussing the replacement of the abdominal machine that's in the little back room in the side where the table is. They were discussing either getting a more modern and probably safer abdominal machine. They're also looking into the possibility of the Smith machine, which is an assisted sort of bench pressing kind of machine. So if anybody has any strong opinions about a machine they would be interested for the gym, you should contact Jill Valetsky, who's the chairman of the fitness.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Alan. Okay, I'm next for my ARC doing its usual job, and I just want to make one thing a comment. When you apply for ARC approval for something outside your home and never inside, by filling out that form, give the ARC members permission to come on your property, check it. They stopped doing it because post-COVID. And unfortunately, had residents taking photographs of their property and sending sometimes photographs are just not good enough for the determination for the approval. So you're granting permission just by telling one. Calendar committee is meeting as usual. Rules committee did have a meeting yesterday, and there's a couple of additional rules we're going to add. We never did have a section in our rules specifically about both automobiles and general violations. There has to be now something called a fining schedule. So we're actually putting a section in there. So it's always been there, the fines have been there, but now it has to be specified through this fining schedule. Trip and lecture, they've been very active, and for next year, I'd like to get this in time to print it out. They have a number of very interesting trips and lectures, people coming here. Just a couple of them, we're having Robert Watson is coming back to give a lecture on the Manhattan Project. No one's ever heard of him. Very good speaker. We have another talk or another play called Churchill that's off site. There's going to be a thing on Barbara Streisand and 4 other events. They have to be approved by the board yet, put on the calendar, but they build next year's agenda with at least 5 or 6 different things about it. And that's pretty much. You want to do the cable committee? Okay.
The COBRA meeting, delegates meeting was yesterday. It was the installation of officers for 2025, 2026. And it was a very pretty ceremony. The crisis, a lot of business to discuss. Finance and budget. Finance and budget meeting. Wednesday, committee approved the audit report. They were accepted by the committee. You'll receive more information on at a later meeting. Reflects a strong balance sheet, and there is a $6,800 surplus of revenue other expenses. Landscaping. Subcommittee on flowers. Made a selection last year of the street flowers. They will be planted in early May. 2 houses on Twin Fall suffering a fungus outbreak. If you report it, do a work request. Top Cut will treat that. If you put the work order in, perhaps it will slow down the spread of the fungus. The cable committee is not much to report there. Isla is in the process of talking to Hotwire. Isla Phelps, our consultant, and when she has a proposal, take her back to us. Committee will go from there.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Susan.
First, I'll start with the cafe. You all received flyers with mistakes today that were corrected. We're having our first dinner on Tuesday. We will get the support of the community. Checks need to be made out to Fresh Flavor Corp. Many of you asked why you can't get cards. Contractually, with Flavorish, the cards are for breakfast, lunch, and take-home dinners. Dinners in the evening are considered a bonus. That is why we ask for checks or cash made out to him. Steve has already mentioned about some people being rude, and I hope that we see a difference in how they're being treated. Sunshine Committee had a very good meeting today. chairperson of Sunshine and the chairperson. And they really got together with some great ideas and had to bring new residents, get them involved in the community as far as our clubs are concerned. They are going to be working on this, and within the next few months, hopefully all that'll be perfect. The tennis committee had their first meeting, and they're working up with Peter to encourage new residents and those residents who haven't played tennis in a long time to get involved. I don't know if I mentioned. Oh, okay. All right, the rest of my report will be voted on then. I'm sorry. That's it then.
Thank you, Susan. Okay, John?
Let me start with the bocce committee. They had a meeting a couple weeks ago. Lots of discussions about organizing the community and the club. The club primarily is responsible for the social events, responsible for activities, including community activities. Just a case in point that we're going to be having community play for both Cold Trace and Valencia Falls. So contact Rich McCluskey if you'd like to participate in that. Open bocce has started in the morning at 9 o'clock. Come on out, play. So far, we've had several new people coming each session. Go up with experienced people, and it's a fun activity. So get yourself up at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday or a Saturday. Come on down and play bocce. I'd like to talk about the engineering committee. First of all, the roof is complete, just about. Small little punch list, minor things that the contractor has to finish. Once he does that, he'll get his final check for all minor issues. What he did is be very kind to us. He gave us a wonderful video that had put up for us. It's something that should be charged. We should be getting a royalty for this.
It's kind of an advertisement. It's still very interesting. That's its own throw.
If you look real carefully, you can see a nail in the front left parking lot that wound up on the right rear of my tire, but that's besides the point. Another project that we start again last time is the surfacing the parking lot. Out in vehicles are out of here. Start bringing in some contractors to give us some bids and quotations. That might be coming up in the next couple of months. Lastly, the Lakes Committee will be submitting something on a seat. So besides that, we're looking to add additional work for grass on Lakes 5, 6. That we're going to delay that until the fall when the rain comes. That's it, Steve.
Okay, all right, thanks, John.
Thank you. The entertainment was really nothing new to report. We already have a full slate for next year with all of our cabarets and all of our regular season shows. This coming year, we're expanding to a 7-show season. 2 weeks in January, February, March. And we're going to have a pre-season special this year with Jane Curry in October. She's fabulous, been here before, and there will come a time when we'll set the ticket prices for next year, but we're going to have another really good thing. The grievance committee, there's nothing to report. The social committee, there are a couple of that we're going to be voting on later tonight. And I just wanted to add a little footnote on the ad hoc cable committee. The board has been test driving the new platform that Hotwire has had available for, I don't know, about the last year and a half to new communities. And there are some tremendous advantages to that platform, but there's some bugs. And we've been test driving it to help Hotwire identify issues before we get them worked on. They haven't made it bug yet. John Sussman and I in particular have been having trouble getting the sound and the picture coordinated
With the soundboard.
on some of our, it's not necessarily sound.
Really? Have that.
And I was one of the sound engineers. And apparently the issue is more widespread than just us or just people with sound bars. They're working on it. They are coming out with a new software upgrade that will deliver next month. So we'll make enough progress that we can optimistic. In any event, that's those are my opinions. So, Alan.
Thanks,
Okay, communication committee. Susan has already talked about the collaboration that started underway between the communications committee and the sunshine committee to further refine and improve new resident orientation. On the pickleball side, the pickleball committee met yesterday. There was a discussion of a lot of topics. A couple of them that were interesting. There was a request from the pickleball club that for their June, July, and August round robins, which happened on Sunday, to move those up to 9 o'clock in the morning for normal. When the committee agreed that that seemed like a perfectly reasonable time, since the round robins are very, very highly subscribed. I think that's everything I wanted to say there. Now I have the great pleasure, if you look over here on the stage, you'll see trophies that 2 of our pickleball teams won this year. We have in Bowlers League, we have a pickleball team that was the champion. If I remember correctly, let me get this right. They were the champion in the spring league in Division 2. And in winter, they were finalists. We have a team that played in Saturday week, Palm Beach County League, that was a finalist in both the fall 2024 and in winter 2025. I would like to ask anyone from those teams to stand and give the community a chance to give you a hand. The trophies will, of course, be nice. We will find places for them in trophy case. Hopefully, we will get more trophies over time. The last pickleball thing is when we get to the agenda, we are finally proposing the a contract for a pickleball pro at Valencia Point. We'll hear that.
All right, okay, we're now going to open the floor regarding agenda items only. Step up.
There's a mic.
There's a mic over there.
Make sure it's on. I don't know. Yeah.
It's on.
All right. Pick it out. You gotta hold it up.
Yeah.
Uh, Let us know why. We run stop signs. Sorry. about that. New stop sign, why? We have enough stop signs for everybody to run through now. Putting another one that. People are coming through the gate. And they're just moving along. The other stop signs, are ones, because those are the ones that people go through. But to have another stop sign makes no sense. No one reads. No. So I would.
Uh-oh.
Here comes trouble.
I live on Greenport Cove and I use the VPMA entrance, and the stop sign is absolutely needed, because if you're in the community stopping at the other stop signs, guess what? People coming in off of Hagen Ranch stop, even though there's no stop sign there. And that leads to confusion to the people who are at the other stop sign. So therefore, if there's a three-way stop, no
But
confusion.
Linda, you told me that about the feet.
I couldn't help myself. You'd miss me if I tried to.
You're right.
Anyone else?
Deer Park Lane. There was a mention earlier today that there was a email that went out regarding gym etiquette. I never got it, my wife never got it, I checked. Everybody in this room did.
Have you been, all right, have you been getting emails until today? Until today? Yeah.
A lot of things today, not you personally. You mentioned a lot of things today. Maybe 50, 70 people in this room, maybe another 70 people online. There's 400 people that never will mention today because they're not going out in emails. By the way, why are we telling folks? Why is you that telling folks at this meeting is enough? If there's something that.
We can't hear you. You've got to,
People are-
pick up the
The
full mic.
people at home can't hear.
Yeah.
If there are things that we're telling at this meeting that are not going out in emails, you can blame the residents all you want, but that's not getting the information across. We need to put them in emails. Even though I don't even get all your emails, you still should put them in email. As of last year, many issues that are addressed that separate communication comes out. Okay. I will take that under advisement. I wrote down everything that we discussed today. Doesn't come out in an email. I think
No,
you're not
we have
doing
the
your job.
YouTube channel. And we can't keep constantly sending out emails about everything we discuss. There's a focal point that has articles, website also has it, the website has the minutes, the website has the agenda. And, we can't have a full-time IT person to send out constant emails. I'm sorry you didn't get a few. That happened to me. I also, last week, my wife and I each got an email, and the next day we wanted to check. The emails were gone off our server. So sometimes the problem's not from us not sending email. Sometimes the problem with the server that your email company, whatever, Gmail or Hotmail or whatever you're using, is delete emails at random. It happens.
Prior to this meeting, for the first time the agenda came out a few days ago, I asked two questions. Neither one of them was addressed.
I don't know what they,
I responded to the email about this breakdown front desk.
Yes, they were not supporting documents. They were supposed to be sent out. Weren't.
Yeah, no, just the agenda was sent out and the supporting documents.
You don't always get
And I also asked for a copy of the revised cafe menu, so we can comment on it before you guys vote on it. I asked for that. I was told I was going to get it. Didn't get it.
You know what, we've had about 5 different drafts and even the labels in the book, I can't promise that it's not gonna go back for editing on small grammatical errors. So we would like to send a final product, which we don't have unfortunately right now.
Well, if you want comments from people on the agenda items, we don't send out any information. I expect it to. Thank you.
don't put it back. He's gonna need it anyway. I just hand. You're tall enough.
Or short enough. I'm not sure which. I'm Harvey Maldo. I chair the communication. And I gotta tell you, we've been working tirelessly to improve communications in the community. We now have a monthly communication bulletin that goes out after the board meetings. It doesn't include every comment that's made at this meeting, but the major issues are addressed. The effort to get more people to understand what happens at these meetings. Obviously, we don't have 300 of these meetings, and there may be 100 people who are viewing this online. So we know that we have to get more information out to the community, and we're making efforts to do that. Anybody has suggestions on how to improve that, make it better, reach more people, and we want to know about it.
Excellent. How many people are listening or on, you know, Christine, you know how many people are online? And also, I mean, I know that we have a popular subject tonight about pickleball. If that wasn't tonight, we might have half as many people. 55? Only 55 people online.
Nobody else.
Two things. But last board.
Like this, Mark.
Mark, they just.
Oh, this is the way. Keep this up for when. The fobs. I know. The fobs.
Right.
I asked, because we're talking about doing registering the cars, etc. I asked last board meeting, what is the cost of fob? Not for us to buy, but for you to purchase. I think the people have been here, a lot of us have been here forever almost. I have no fob. It's falling apart
On the card.
on the car. Why aren't we being charged when it costs you? We're a nonprofit organization. So I don't understand why we're being charged 50. I'm sure it didn't cost $50 for the fob. I asked for a clarification last week, saying that's it. Last board meeting, and I didn't get it.
The going rate for Bob's was $50.
I don't care what other communities. We can, how about worrying about our own community? The people that live here, and it's not the $50. Why are we taking out on the people that live here when board or TV decided to change all the electronics? So we needed a new fund. I don't know what it would work. I'd like to know what you get charged why we're not paying the same amount. Okay, as far as the card, Spellman spoke about using the cards for dinner. And that's a practice that goes back as long as I was on the board. It was a way to make the vendor make a little more money. Because most communities don't allow you to use a card. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, bottom line is, there's the only way you can make money on breakfast and lunch. I can tell you, I owned a cafe here in one of the places, and breakfast and lunch didn't cut it. What cut it was the club meetings, the dinners before the show, the dinners out of nowhere. That's why it should be on the card. The last thing is, I feel, as ex-board member for my division, there's a time and place to bother board member. And one in particular is very dear to me. If they're having lunch or breakfast or something, don't bother. You know, that's their time. You know, your questions else, put it in writing, because I'm sure land, a ball, a hamburger or whatever. I agree, as an ex, you bought every 2 seconds. So I agree that should be something everybody should take into consideration.
Thank you, Mark. Okay. Oh, other Mark. One more Mark.
On safety security committee, we are out there once a week, different locations. You're writing 10 warning letters a week about auditing parking. You stand on the corners. If you don't see it, go stop sign, you're wrong. Letters are going in. We're not. It's going to get tighter. But everybody's complaining about speeds and stop signs. And you won't be happy until somebody, and yes, everybody will behave for about, what, 20 minutes after that? Your own sake, guys. A lot of people here should not be behind the wheel. Please drive safe.
Thank you, Mark. And we will be starting to issue fines.
Okay, all right,
Nobody else? Okay, we'll start with the agenda items. Okay, under old business. Now, we're going to have a discussion instead of bringing this up. This is an item every year, we have 4th of July party. And we kind of, or a summer party around the 4th of July, where traditionally the board has prepared the food and basically been smoked out of existence, you know, by prepared food. And so we came up with an alternate, possibly to have the fair this year, have it catered. You know, it would be nice as a board member to be able to sit with my friends and family, but we're up there cooking. That's not the whole reason. We might be able to get different types of food, a larger number.
Ultimately, we need to get the board to give us feedback
What they
on
want.
whether or not we're going to have it on the 4th of July. And if we do, if we're able to cooking, or we should go ahead and have it catered. It's pretty comparable in price still.
So just to bring everybody up to speed, over the past number of years, we have developed a tradition of having an annual board barbecue where the 7 of us, and spouse, would actually man the barbecues and cook the hamburgers and hot dog. And it was a community-wide event relative to both homes. A year ago, 2 years ago, we had it in the heat of the summer, and it turned into a disaster. It was overbearingly hot, terrible smoky. We made the mistake of doing it in the outdoor cafe seating area. There was no place for the smoke to go. With gas there, social committee members got smoked out. The board members were drinking. So we decided while we would continue tradition of annual board cookout that we would not do that during the house months. That probably sometime in the spring. At the same time, we have a new lifestyle director, who, by the way, is doing a fabulous job. If we haven't met a man with him yet, you're in for a treat. She's really special. And I'm the primary liaison with the social committee. We've been working with Amanda to try and come up with a schedule of annual community-wide events that would appeal to our current residents. And one of the ideas we came up with is that we should commit every year to having a 4th of July party out at the pool deck. That doesn't mean that that would be the board barbecue, well, that's one possibility. So we're also looking at the possibility of an event, which would not be super expensive. We're working, but please mark your calendars. We're going to do everything we can to deliver a community-wide 4th of July event. We also want to do a Labor Day event. We want to do Halloween. We want to do Cinco de Mayo. We want a full schedule of community-wide social events for everyone. So stay tuned.
Thank you. Anybody else? Comments from anyone? Okay, all right. Well, this is something we'll do under consideration. The next is Susan.
And speaking of social real fast, we recommend stopping by the clubhouse on Cinco de Mayo and on a surprise in the lobby.
I don't even know what it is.
I, Susan Spellman, move to approve as distributed the revised menu from Flavorish Bistro.
That's good.
Okay. I understand people may not have had a chance to see. I did a comparison. I'm going to run through it very quickly. Prices are up or down about $1. Omelets are up by $2, but be specific. All you've got is my handwriting on the copy that got sent to me. Okay, so all of the omelets are up by $2. The cheese omelet is up by $2.50. The 2 eggs with bacon or sausage is up by $1. The basic breakfast is up by $1. The breakfast croissant is up by $1. There's a new croissant French toast platter for $11.95. There's a new item waffles for $9.95. Their matzo brie is now going to be standard on the menu for $8.95. A Nova platter will now be on the menu for $15.95. These are new items. There was no change to any of the healthy choices or smoothies or beverages. The chef salad has become a turkey club salad instead. Because of the high price of eggs, we told him to egg out of the salad. And he did, the price remains the same. All of the salads are the same, except the garden salad, for some reason I don't understand, has gone down by $1. The turkey sandwich has gone down by $2. There's now a turkey club sandwich for $13.95. There's a new chicken Caesar wrap. There's a new turkey club wrap. Each of those, the Caesar is $13.45. The turkey club wrap is, I'm sorry, the Caesar is $13.45. The turkey club is $13.95. There's a variety of half and half. You can have a half a sandwich and soup or salad, any combination, and do those free for $12.95. The deli sandwiches are exactly the same price that all those beer. The deli sandwich platters have cost $1. There is now for the deli salads a trio choice. You get 3 salads of your choice for $13.95. The other salads range from $11.95 to the same price now. $11.95 for egg, $12.95 for tuna and chicken salad, $15.95 for shrimp salad. So those are up, as I said, those are up $1. Platters are $1. The sandwiches and wraps, the price remains the same. There's a new bacon cheeseburger for $15.50. The classic burger, there's no change in price. The mushroom Swiss burger is up by 45 cents. And as another freebie, for the same price, you pay for 1 hot dog, $9.95 in 1 meat. That's it. So there's no huge change in here. Most of this is driven by the high cost per day. Other than that, the dollar here or there, it's not gonna, shouldn't bother anybody. I would be glad to support this change.
Is everyone in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed?
All right. Next item.
I, Steve Meltz, move to approve the proposal from Bill York Air Conditioning for the replacement of an Aon OEM warranty compressor in the amount of $2,953.
I got Susan as a second.
I think it cost of the part is under warranty.
That's correct.
You don't pay for the part, you're paying for the labor to install it.
But there are parts that they have to charge us for, but the
Ancillary.
Yeah, I
bulk of it, if we had.
Is everyone in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed?
I, Steve Wolfberg, move to approve the proposal of lawn services to install 457 gallon Coliseum plants, approximately 13 place at the ficus hedge.
Second.
This is
The price.
I'm sorry, in the amount of $37,340.
Is this both sides of Cascade, just various area size? Yeah.
This is the third year.
You're fine, okay.
And this is the full price. About 6 months ago.
So since this is the third year of the three, as far as this program is concerned, this is the end.
No, I think it's done so well, so much better than ficus.
And this was approved in the.
Is everyone in favor?
Yeah.
Any opposed?
Okay.
I, Susan Spellman, move to approve the proposal from vendor Ryan Lauer LLC, the hydro blend clay resurfacing of tennis courts 4-5.
Second.
Oh, sorry, in the amount of $19,900.
2009.
Right. This is done on a continual basis.
Yeah.
Right, last year we did 1, 2, this year we do 4, 5, and 6. Next year we'll do 1, 2, and 3. When I first got here in 2015, the courts hadn't been resurfaced for a number of years, and it turned out very expensive to deal with them. So this is a reasonably cost-effective cycle to be on.
Is everyone in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed?
I, Susan Spellman, move to approve the tennis committee's recommendation to increase our tennis pro lesson from $80 an hour to $88. This will be adjusted for our contract with our VPMA.
Is everyone in favor?
Yeah.
Any opposed?
Okay, I'm up.
Yep.
I, Alan Gilbert, move to approve the proposal from Ryan Lauer LLC again for professional pickleball services, including a full-time qualified pickleball pro to manage the VP pickleball facilities and oversee instructional programs, play, and player development. This contract is, we have a list, there's a 3-year term. It's actually 3 years and 7 months. The contract would begin June 1st. From in there,
Yeah.
2025, not 35. It will start June 1st of this year, and it will run through December 31st of 2028. Over that time, from June 1st, 2025 to December 31st, so a year and 7 months, the contract will be $45,000 annually. From January 1st, 2027 to December 31st, 2027, that next year, it will be $50,000 annually. And finally, in 2028, from January 1st until December 31st, it will be $51,500 annually. One thing that's not listed here is initially the pickleball pros teaching rate will be $80 an hour.
Wait,
just wait. You need a second.
Yes, yeah, we need. Not open for question right now. Okay.
We got the second with John Sussman.
But we thought like about the refusal of order.
No,
No.
no, we
No.
had agenda items. Who seconded?
We will have good and welfare afterwards. So we got John
Yeah.
Sussman as
Yeah,
a
don't,
second.
do it later.
Okay, question?
Any questions?
Just one question, where it says, the language, manage. So that means he will be doing kind of the same thing that he does, he'll be coming in, making sure the courts are in shape, workplace starts, et cetera. I mean, you're not clay courts, so they
Right.
obviously don't need the same level of care. You'll have-
Yes, he will be coming in 5 days a week, checking that the courts are okay. He will be doing any court kind of simple light maintenance. If there's heavy maintenance, he will address it with the office where the custodial staff will do it. Yeah, I was just gonna say, the big difference, if you look at Peter's contract, a substantial amount of what we're getting is the court maintenance, all the left, not the rebuilding of the courts, but the dragging of the courts, setting up every day.
Right.
We will wind up with more time from the pickleball pro who will be here watching open play, team matches, lessons, working with captains. That's sort of thing. Given the nature of the pickleball program and the number of people in it, there's more hands-on needed than there currently is within tennis.
Just one more comment. My support for this is based on the assumption that the changes to the draft contract that I made are accepted by the vendor. Otherwise, I would.
Okay, well, we could say that we're voting on proving this, with the contingency that the next week or two.
No, it's done.
No, it's done. Oh, it is, ours is done.
Ours
They
is
have to
done.
accept
Yeah,
it.
but we will get the update.
Okay, all right,
Is everyone in favor?
yes.
Yes. From Shenandoah, for cleaning 67 storm drain basins throughout the community, the amount of $19,765.
I'll second.
Support that we do this, particularly at this time of the year, coming before hurricane. One end issue called catch basins and storm drains that are going to prevent the drains from carrying far away. Even with a big storm.
One small question. This is a subset of the total number of storefronts. How have they decided which ones merit this?
Well, Shenandoah comes and inspects the catch basins, storm drains, determine which ones.
It would kind of be nice if people stayed for the entire meeting. That's one of the problems we have.
Okay.
Okay,
It's a small fraction of the number of catch basins we have throughout.
Is everyone in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed?
Okay, that's me. Okay, yeah.
Okay. I, Steve Meltz, move to terminate the current contract with Complete Spray Tech and approve the proposal from Fiddler Roof Cleaning for the biannual sanitation and power wash miscellaneous areas throughout the community with the amount for $27,650 annually with a three-year contract at this rate.
Question?
Yes.
Can you provide a little information about these miscellaneous areas? I assume these are all common.
Yeah.
All the common areas, sidewalks, pavers, clubhouse, main entrance.
Where all the trees drop on the side,
Valley
things
gutters.
like that.
In favor?
Yeah.
Any opposed? One quick side note is that the vendor also did put in that he would pressure clean driveways for $50 a driveway. And that's set for 3 years as well, which is a good deal.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
The current vendor are around 60.
Let's see. I, Steve Meltz, move to approve the proposal from Donald Chamberlain for stage lighting. I changed the wording a little bit. Stage lighting with new LED lights. Have all these lights, can't see because they're not on right on this panel. Those are all incandescent bulbs. Behind the screen, there's a lot of other colored lights for when we have productions, and those are incandescent bulbs, have to be replaced and really kind of outdated. So this is amount here of $4,300 for a very reasonable price to do that. When we had the renovation, it was in the tens of thousands at the time.
I'll second it.
So Steve, sitting meetings, meeting after meeting, people are out the lights. Can I properly interpret all the lights that I see immediately above me and all the lights over the
Yes.
top? That's
Yeah,
all gonna
I
be-
believe altogether, I think it's 27 lights. It's like the whole group up here can't see it from the stage. There's nobody here. Because from the audience, you can't see it, but there's lights here, right up in front of the projector, and back there on the stage, there's larger lights, colored lights of different kinds.
Thank you.
Will these be multicolors and then very,
I believe so, yeah.
Just so everybody understands, every light that's visible here from the audience is already LED. These are all new lights put in during our. Everything here is LED. It's just the theatrical lighting that's last generation of. I have a question on the same topic. Have you given consideration to adding an LED backlit back curtain backdrop for among other things, the player shows, as well as our professional entertainment?
I've looked into it, and if you've been on Oceana, they have that.
Yes.
Depending on the shipping one, they have them, and I got the model, and I did some research. They start at $10,000 up for any size. They're very expensive for one that you can put graphics on.
Well, frankly, if it were $10,000 or even $20,000, given the fact that we do 7 professional shows a year every year, plus 2 to 3 cabaret shows off season, plus other events, I think that we should give serious consideration to spending, even if we are talking about 5 figures. I would like to see a proposal to do that. I don't know if that's something that would coordinate with this stage lighting replacement, or if it should be larger independent projects.
They're larger companies. I'll look into it.
Okay, I support this, but I also would like to see us get the up-to-date backdrop. I think it will enhance the experience for all our residents.
Is everyone in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed?
Okay, John,
I, John Sussman, move to approve F manufacturing for the amount of $1,431.65 for the purchase of PVC panels. Where landscaping in the amount of $1,500, installation of $2,931.65. These are,
Yeah, go ahead. No, I'll say.
these are basically PVC panels that prevent soil erosion in the lakes. The Lakes Committee have been testing this for almost a year now, demonstrating this process work. This will be for 100 feet of test left side of Lake 14. We're going to be using the same person to install it, took care of all the Comcast towers, so we're very comfortable personally.
Okay, so the west side of Lake 14, that's by the pergola, by the gazebo, that's immediately opposite Bellingham and Castlegate. So it's the narrow end of the main lake.
Right. What side of the thing?
The west side of the main lake.
So these panels are kind of wide and they're just driven into the soil. That's what
They're hammered into the ground level. They'll be cut down to the heart. They'll be transparent, and you probably see them once installed. But
Mention that this is a test.
we already tested some of this. So if necessary, this will be next level testing. Yes.
And if this performs satisfactorily, what would your intention be for the implement?
Not sure how. We'll have to test and come back to proposal whether we need to do the entire. Be on it next. We can put sure. 3,000. Product like shore socks. This is a fraction of the cost of shore socks.
And the shore socks, at least on my lake, I had one of the experimental shore socks going up, and it works. It's that side of the lake for years.
But if we can do 100 feet, $10,000.
Right.
Thank you.
I think we did it. Everyone was.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, just new business. I have one item. It's sort of new, but we did start to discuss it at the last board. There are a couple residents again that put in an ARC application to have what are called hardscape in front of the house. There are two adjacent houses that had the lawns went west, and they had new lawns put in, and those lawns died. So right now it's kind of bare. We have not yet made a decision. We had a preliminary meeting a few weeks ago with representatives from the Landscape Committee, the ARC, also a resident who's very familiar with this type of garden or rock garden, some call them. So we've written up some preliminary rules someone would have to follow. We're going to discuss it again with the ARC and move forward. And probably at the next board meeting, we'll decide whether it's yes, do this or no. That's what's going to go on with that. Anybody else?
Friendly question. I forgot to say this when you were doing the trophy recognition. The captain, it's your choice. If you would like me to, I can put the trophies in the office so you don't have to take them home. You then put them in trophy case, or if you wish to take them home and bring them back, you're more than welcome.
all right. Okay, and just one other
Thing about the cafe, the egg sign, the one that says extra money for eggs, that's coming down.
was incorporated. Incorporated.
I have another item.
Sure.
We recently approved a sale to a partnership, a limited liability. Purchasing a house with the intention of rent. It's a particularly good idea. It's a general practice. I would like to see us discuss doing the change to our documents to require somebody that purchases a house to live here for at least a year before it can be rented. I want to see this community become basically irrelevant.
I support that. We need to amend our governing documents in that respect for other reasons as well. We recently had an application. When somebody applies to buy a house here, we do a credit report, we do a criminal background check, and we had a situation where that a proposed resident had a felony conviction for being a theft. We reviewed our documents. Right now, that's not a sufficient reason for us to deny that application. We work with our outside counsel. There's just no way around it unless we amend our declaration of covenants. So we're going to be coming up with a proposed amendment to our declaration. Right now, that's we're going to make a little more authority, valid grounds, upon which we could justifiably deny him the resident. And then the same requirements would apply to people who lose, people who die. Right now, we can't even keep a sexual offender out. We had somebody a couple of years ago, sex offender registry, somebody who was convicted. We couldn't keep that person out. Because that's a public record, enough people found out about it, enough scuttlebutt in the community that if I'm not mistaken, I believe that person voluntarily decided to live elsewhere. We need a little more flexibility in order to say no to people for good reason, and we'll find that under the issue.
And just so that I understand the process, changes require community vote.
Yes, 2/3 of all those voting.
Change our governing
Yeah,
documents.
to change our governing documents, our declaration requires a vote, just 2/3 of the community. But we will have a meeting, or we may even do it by soliciting proxy. But the successful vote has to be at least 2/3 of those who actually vote.
Only 3 people vote.
No,
It has to be a quorum.
We have a 30% quorum requirement. So 3 people don't decide that.
That's why everybody should get in. All right, we've got, good and well for 30 minutes, so oh no.
Wait, hold it.
Wait.
Hold it. Let Mark go.
Let Mark come up with.
Mark should be.
Hold on for a second. We got.
What is
Let that fellow.
Orange.
As I understand it, according to our bylaws, these meetings work according to Robert's letter. I came with parliamentary inquiry, which means that's an appropriate point at which to stop, to clarify something that's on for discussion.
Okay.
That was turned down, which actually brings up a point of order. And the point of order is that this board was not acting.
We have a rule, and I'll read it to you. It's rule number 300. I have to make it larger because it's on my phone. 336. Robert's Rules of Order, the latest edition of Robert's Rules of Order, may be used as guidelines to govern the conduct at all meetings of members and the board. However, the use of such rules of order are discretionary if they become impediment to the conduct. These type of organizations are not required to strictly follow Robert's.
Sorry to hear that.
Yes.
Evening, I'm Renata Mill, your newer residents, been here about 6 months.
Welcome.
Just a couple of things I'd like to say regarding the app machine. I'd like to, active gym user, I'd like to do that. That's one of the gym. Replace it with a new and updated one, that would be,
Yes, the
instead of getting rid of that.
right, the complaints we've had from various people, that was sort of a hard one, and it's easy to damage yourself. The funny thing is, I use it all the time, don't mind it, but if we replace it, we will replace it with a safer one.
Yes, that would be good. I agree with this gentleman regarding stage repair. And I don't know if you take the number of town people in the community who play pickleball, who don't. Compare it to the amount of people in for the clubhouse, the social events and everything else. Great to have our stage updated along with the lighting, to bring in more professional shows, great bands. I'd love to see a DJ. More DJ parties. The first party here was the holiday party, December. And we really enjoyed ourselves. We did a lot of dancing. So I think as newer members move into the community, I saw a lot of people enjoy the dancing. Would love to see more that type of event. And I think the majority of money should come towards stage production. 92,000 on just the set for pickleball.
That's over 300.
No.
Also,
Well,
on
yours
your
could be
gym
closer to
request,
150.
if you would drop that to the Valencia account, I collect those. Someone.
And then just one other request, we have moved in dog walkers down the side of our yard and the back of our yard. I think we understand that is our private property. And I'm just requesting that the dog walkers walk along the curb, don't go onto the curb, walk the dog. Pick up their mess when they do, whatever they do, but, yeah, it's not always
We have-
clear where
we have-
the properties or not.
We can follow up on that. By the way, I'm your neighbor, 3 doors down.
Thank
As
you.
a dog.
But, yeah, I was able to identify, I know who that person is. And, necessary communication was set out, and I hope that the message, if there's a recurrence, please let me know.
And another thing you can do, I mean, without being completely confrontational, take a picture.
Yes, he did it as timely.
Right. Because that doesn't always work.
So explain. But, yeah, I just thought for the whole community, you know, to walk the dog in your area on this. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I get
Hi, so I'm Chris, I'm your rep for Brianna. And there's one other person. At least one, if not two people. We're addressing those in case our spaces. So we moved here in October. First of all, let's just say thank you. Christine and Dennis and everybody else. The committee has been very helpful in guiding us through this whole process. So thank you on that. To the old business before the Roosters. Then we where locations are for the Roosters. We've been debating about, our head is very, very thin. We've been debating about, we need to invest around opportunities for the closest part of it. Do we need to put a second room? If we
Actually, I think, because I'm your neighbor on your property, I think that referring to your head really an association has. And our intention is eventually to replace all of the funds with Lucia. And Lucia grows very, very quickly. And we've had tremendous success over the last couple of years. So I can't tell you exactly when it will be, but the long range plan is that you'll have complete rights at the association on yours.
Perfect, thank you very much. And the last one is gentlemen over here. There are, not after the meeting, but there are tools available to allow a complete description of the entire meeting. So that we can just capture copies.
But we have available YouTube. It's being recorded right now. That's why the camera, so people can watch the entire meeting. I think how long is it up? Kept up for, we don't take them down, so you can go back and.
And that's what we would like, not for the people here, but for the people who are watching on YouTube, they get the public hearing.
Right.
Great, thank you all very much.
You're welcome.
My question is also about the replacements for the bike lanes. On Greenport Cove, if you live in the center and you're back to back, there's the horrible ficus that the whole bottom is bare. Are those going to be replaced as well? They're also community
Yeah.
ficuses.
We're familiar with that. Greenport and Springville both have that same fragile center. And yes, we'll be doubling that up. Those two areas are the only areas that don't have something else to back it up. So eventually, yes.
Okay, good, thank you.
So, this, what it comes by. In the announcement of the new deck on the bottom. Just this step, right before, it says click here. Download the agenda and supporting documents. What is meant by supporting documents?
Well, go ahead.
If you click on the announcement that went out today, we had some supporting documents. So I didn't adjust that language because
We didn't have
it
all of
is
them yet.
something that we're trying to do, but I did not have supporting documents until today. E-blast reminding everybody of the menu. But legally, we keep a hard copy of supporting documents on the credenza out in front of the window.
There you go. Phil, it's basically what we get in our board books. We get a little loaded for our homework, and our attempt is to make it available to the community as well, so that you can look at it before you come to the meeting and ask intelligent questions on agenda items before. We move slowly, but we're getting there.
I'm Scotty Sakala, and I am a member of both the Entertainment Committee and the VP Players Committee. And first, let me say that we'll never know about the lighting, but the sound. But in regards to two things, right now, reduce the cost of scenery, because we were anticipating using that rear projection for scenery for our next show, if we have it. The other thing is that if we have this, we would be able to showcase this here. So many of the other communities.
We're not eligible. We don't have a dressing room. They won't come here. We only have 2 dressing rooms. That's we looked at that during the renovation. It's an insoluble program. Problem, insoluble problem.
Well,
And Scotty, another thing too, mentioned rear projection, you would not need that. We looked into that because that's a less expensive way to do it. Because what you would have is you have a projector behind the stage up on the wall, and then you have a screen in front of it. But the problem there is it takes several feet away from the performers. So that's why we would be looking into what we call an LED screen, which is about that thick, and would be behind everyone. You can't have it projected from the front because it takes shadows.
and I realize it's not going to but are we talking about something that would project from wherever?
Well, someone would have basically the way it's done is you have an LED screen used in ball games and everything where they have moving pictures and all that. Some of the theaters around here have them. King's Academy has them. The computer gets hooked to it, drives the LED screen, and first programs the computer for the different backdrops and puts it on here.
Yeah.
We could do it. It's
Okay,
just.
and so those.
Well, that's for a small. And actually, we looked into one point, we looked into renting one
I
for,
remember.
and there's only a few around to rent. By the
Right.
time we got around to asking, they were already spoken for. But a good one the size. That screen is probably. Hurry.
So many shows here. It might be better shows and our shows might also I hope to pay for because pull in a lot of people.
We can do a little more research on it.
Thank you.
So I went to that day on 45 minute. Bill photos. And I couldn't understand it. They told me what director and in the document, then it was shut down. Just happened fairly recently. Sometimes I would come in at 4:30 with no problem. Any comments on this?
30 minutes ahead. We would close it at 2:30. The cafe, if
You're okay?
if the cafe hours,
If the cafe hours, I believe, are until 3 o'clock. Yeah, they close the grill down at 2:30. So if they kept
This
it
never
open.
happened to me before. He told me it just recently happened that they were told. Close at 2:30. Was the community ever aware?
Yeah, I don't want to close. There is something about closing.
Yeah, we have to look at the contract.
But as far as I know,
If
it was
you go
that
to a
half
restaurant,
hour before.
closed at a certain time, you could probably come in a few minutes before they'll serve.
We'll get it out.
Thank you, thanks for letting us know. Hi, Roger, hello. Suggestion for the fitness. Right. During our renovation, I got to use a machine which is called a grade stair climber. It's an amazing machine. It's not one that doesn't work. Yeah. Doesn't take up that much, but I don't know how much for one by now. Somebody I consider that machine.
We can certainly look into it. I think anybody who uses the gym realizes we're sort of space constrained. So with this particular ab machine, you know, it going away suddenly opens up a certain amount of space.
Send us an email too, your
Yes,
suggestions.
Send an email to,
Civilianviewpoint@castlegroup.com.
Right. and it will go to the fitness committee and it will be discussed.
Don't we have two abdominal machines? No, we don't.
We have a single abdominal machine. This will tell you a tiny bit of the conversation. I volunteer in the fitness team that I use all the weight machines except for one, which I find very, very difficult. It would be curious to know if there are certain machines that very few use, and then we can think about, well, maybe we could trade out a little space for them. So anyone who uses the gym, if you have any particular machines that are your least favorite, you never use it, that's useful information for us to have to try to figure out what we can do.
Right, I mean, the bicep machine, let's take a lot of strain off. That's what it does. Dumbbells into position. It's where we put that.
Well, like I said, that was just my opinion. I'm one of the few people who really like the app machine that everybody tells me is so terrible. So, you know, different people, different machines.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right.
Hang on.
wait, we have to get a microphone, please.
Any way possible that we can be in touch with the owner of the project that's right behind us, our shopping center. The wall has been broken for at least 9 months. It says shops. Walgreens is any way that we can get in touch with that. We're actually in regular touch with that property management company. The light pole that as we enter the community at the Publix entrance has also been out. I borderline am going to go ahead and ask the board for us our residents. But there is a problem with that company and we are struggling to get things done. I'll put that in.
And I'll pass that along, that information along to Cobra. Cobra has the text. I think.
So that might be better. Don, those questions.
When will the dates of the shows be published?
Well, I can tell you that the trip and lecture dates, they have to go before the calendar committee and make sure that be approved at the next board meeting.
Shows. Here are the shows. Our lineup, November 15th is, I misspoke earlier when I said, November 15th is James Curry. This is for 2026. This is next January. I'm sorry, no, it's November of this year is James Curry. January 17th is Rocket Man, which is an Elton John tribute.
It'll be on the website. We're putting them all officially on the website. They should actually be on it. There was a little confusion as of yesterday. Okay, I'll double check. My town director is gonna debut all the show dates for January, February, and March on the calendar.
26.
By the end of the day.
And my challenge to all of you is that last year, we only sold 107 season tickets. We did have between 45 and 108 people buy tickets for individual shows in addition to that. But we can hold over 400 people in the social hall for seating. And everybody other than those 187 people with season tickets and the people who bought individual tickets missed fabulous show season. So let me encourage everybody, as soon as we get the tickets priced, start the sales process, sign up. It is an outstanding season.
Okay.
No one else. So the next board meeting is Thursday, April the 24th.
Today,
I'm sorry, that's the date that's on here.
Yeah.
All right, so it's May
Sorry,
22, May 22nd. I'm just reading my script here. It's Thursday, May 22nd at the same time, 7 o'clock. Oh. The grill is off for this contract at 2:30. Yeah, we just checked that. Okay, thank you all for coming. And I second the adjournment.